What is the difference between having passion for acting or having an obsession with acting? I am so excited to be here doing this video. I feel a little bit weird. I feel like I haven't done like a proper sit down video in like a few weeks. So I'm like, am I rusty? I'm like, no, I'm not. I know what I'm doing. But I'm excited to be talking about this because I think now that we're coming towards the end of the year, and especially what a year we've had in the acting world, it kind of put every single person in this industry in a position where you're kind of like almost overthinking and you're trying to see the bigger picture. You're probably thinking about the future. All of us are. I am, that's for sure. And with this year ending, and we have 2 strikes that are over, which is our Writers Guild strike and the SAG-AFTRA strike, next year we will have a very interesting new year. I wish I could predict the future and tell you exactly how it's going to go. I'm not sure. I do feel like there's going to be a big boom in auditions. I feel like people are going to be getting it in because we missed so much of it. So it's going to be go, go, go. So I think it's a great time for you to kind of reflect on your own personal relationship that you've had with acting up until this point, maybe even just for this year, or if you want to look back at all the years and to see where can I start with my relationship and where I want to be in my relationship with acting in the new year for 2024. So let's get into it. Typically, having an obsession with acting is you have a lot of resistance towards the industry. You're constantly like this around it, and you have a hard time of letting go, and you have a hard time of letting go of the resistance and also just letting everything flow with ease because you're holding on to everything so tightly because you're so obsessed with doing it. And the other thing is doing it perfect, which in this industry, you need to throw that word out. Nothing is ever, ever, ever perfect in this industry. You're probably most of the time frustrated and angry a lot of the times with this industry. You feel like you're almost like in a bad relationship and like you're just constantly being put down. My therapist likes to talk about this analogy with me and I find it really helps. Picture this, you're on a river, you're in a canoe, and when things are going properly and you're allowing things to flow with ease, you don't have resistance, you're just allowing things happen the way they're supposed to happen. That means you were in the canoe and you're kind of rowing and you're rowing with the water. You might not even have to row. You might probably put your paddle back in the canoe and you're just like allowing the water to take you. When you're in the obsession stage and you are not allowing things to flow and you have a lot of resistance and you can't allow things to happen the way they should, you are, picture this, out of this canoe, probably taking this canoe and pushing it against the current of the river. That's what is like you not allowing things to just flow with ease. You could also be in a burnout stage. This is very normal and very like probably the number one cause is when you're in a burnout phase and you get into the obsession because you can't stop and you can't get out of the burnout phase. So you just keep going and going and going until you just like, you're like, I can't stop. I won't stop because I need to keep going. Again, honeys, it's not healthy. It's not helping you when you're in a burnout phase. You are not able to create authentic art when you're in that stage. It makes it really difficult. You are like just running around. You're not coming from a place of like calmness, groundness. You're just like doing it because you have to. You're not doing it because you want to. This one's an interesting one as well with the obsession. You would never quit or take a break because you're up in the state of being obsessed with acting. You believe that if you do take a break or you quit acting for a time period, you think that you're a failure, that you failed the acting, that you were not good enough and you didn't make it. That's not the case at all. And you also will never be able to get back into it because the industry will never allow you to come back. I had this literal battle with myself so much where if I ever wanted to take a break and I felt it in my like subconscious that I needed it, I would be like, no, you're not taking it because the industry will not wait for people forever. And that's that. If you need a break, take a break, honeys. If you feel like you want to quit, there's nothing wrong with that. The industry is not going to go anywhere. Even look like, yeah, we had strikes for a few months, but look, we're back at it. Next year, we're going to be back at making all the auditions back in. We're going to be doing the shows, the movies. Like the industry is never going to change. You're always going to need to watch a show. Shows are always going to be produced. Movies are always going to be produced. Like nothing's going to happen if you don't audition for a few months. You could even do an option that I don't know if a lot of people of you know. You can do a hiatus. That is is very popular. You can ask your agent if you have one, I need to take a hiatus for like, let's say 6 months. So you're not leaving your agent. You're just asking them to kind of close your file, and they're not going to submit you for anything. So it's also an option if you don't feel comfortable or ready enough to fully step away from having an agent. And then during that 6 months, you could just do whatever you want to do. You can travel, you can work on other projects. Maybe you want to go back to school. Maybe you want to work full time somewhere and make money. Like, you literally can do whatever you want during that 6 months of the hiatus. You live, breathe, poop, sleep, acting. Like, acting is literally stuck to you. You brush your teeth, acting. You take a meal, acting. You went to work, acting. Everything you do has an obsession with acting. You are obsessed with it. You cannot stop. Like, you literally can't stop talking about it. You can't stop thinking about it. Like, anything you do has to somehow always relate back to the acting. That's a big no, because that's not true. You're going to go through ups and downs all the time. You're going to go through waves, and you cannot sit here and live, breathe, do everything with acting, because take a look even just the last 6 months with the strikes. Were you able to live and breathe acting? No, because there was nothing to do in the industry. We were all just hanging out. So what did you do for those 6 months? You probably thought about acting every day for those 6 months, but did that get you anywhere? No. Was that healthy for you? No. Was it good for your mental health? No. The obsession would never allow you to do any other interests. You would never think about having any other career. You would never allow yourself to think that maybe you're interested in something else. Like, when I started my YouTube channel, I was like, I could never do my YouTube channel because it's going to come in the way of me wanting to do the acting. Why would my YouTube interfere with my acting? Like, how does that even correlate or coincide with each other? It doesn't. If I have an audition and I got to film a YouTube video, okay, well then maybe I won't film the YouTube video today. I'll do it tomorrow instead, and I'll do my audition today. Like, you make it work. So there's no reason why I couldn't be able to do the YouTube channel. If you want to start a podcast, if you are interested in production and you want to try production, there's no reason why you can't, while you're trying to also build your acting career at the same time. There's many other options that you can do as well. This is not all the time, but I do find that actors, and I'm saying this about myself, that I've met that are obsessed with acting can sometimes also be a bit egotistical. Like, they are obsessed with themselves and they think that they're better than everyone. And a lot of the times, these actors are the ones that actually need the healing the most. They're the ones who have some sort of trauma with acting. The healing part is really important. A lot of the times when you're in this obsessive state, it comes from a place of an unhealed relationship that you have with the industry. Either you've been wronged in the industry a lot of times, you've had bad agents in the industry, maybe you've had bad auditions, maybe casting sees you in a really weird way, but you never healed what that was. So I highly recommend either doing therapy or doing some of your own self-work to see what is it that I need some healing in this industry, so then I'm not attracting those exact same issues that I'm trying to get away with. Or trying to get away from, not with, trying to get away from. A lot of the times you're going to be afraid to take risks because of you wanting to feel that if you come off the cliff and just jump right to see what that option is, then that cliff will never take you back on. It's the same thing like not wanting to take a break. Like, that's a risk that you do take, but you're too afraid to take it because you need to stay only on this line, because God forbid you go into the right line or you go into the left line, that's it, game over, like you're out of the industry. It is completely normal to want to take risks. I think it's even actually extremely healthy. I think it's important. You're going to have many opportunities that come at you. They're going to be thrown at you. And if you don't know how to take a risk and you don't want to take a risk, you might actually be missing opportunities that you need that change. Like, that's going to pull you into a direction that you might really need to be in right now. So take a risk if it's there for you. Take the option. Okay, now we're going to talk about the passion side of things. When you are in your passion state for acting, you are, first of all, in a healthy relationship with the acting, and you also are doing things because you want to do it, not because you have to. You're not getting an audition saying, oh my God, I have to do this audition. You're getting this audition and you're like, you know what? May not be my favorite audition, but I actually want to do this because this is a challenge. You're always, when you're in the state of passion, you're in almost like a balance. Like, you're almost like in like a serenity mode. You're always very like ease with it. You're calm. You're kind of always like very yin yang. Like, if things go up a little bit, like, that's fine. You'll go with it. If they go down, you'll go with it as well. But you're not ever going to be like like a turmoil almost, essentially, like you're always quite well balanced in the stage that you're in, you have pretty much like little to no resistance. Kind of like the canoe analogy. When you are in your passion state, you're just allowing things to flow. You're in your canoe. You might be a little bit rowing with the current. You might not even be rowing at all. You're just letting the boat go with the current over the river. And that's you having very little to no resistance, and you're just kind of hanging out and doing your own thing. This one is really important, that when you're in your stage of passion for the industry, you understand how crazy this industry is and how difficult this industry is. Like, you have full awareness that this industry can be very not nice to you and can do a lot of damage to you, and that you can get sucked into some really dark places while being in this industry. But you have a full understanding that this is the case, and you have a good head on your shoulders knowing that if you feel that you're coming close to that, you can either walk away or pull yourself out of it. And I see this a lot, especially with younger actors who are in the stage of obsession. They, let's say, get, booked on a short film or a feature film or whatever, and they just find that the set is not right. And I had a client once tell me about this, where they felt that the set that they were filming on was not healthy. It was not right, but they were willing to stay because they just wanted the job. You don't want to do that. You don't want to put yourself in that position where you're on a set where you're like, this is not a good time. Like, really, it's not a good time. Now, I'm not saying like totally walk away from the job and say, screw you and you're out. No, but there definitely needs to be a conversation happening where it's like, you can't speak to me that way. You cannot be doing this to me or that or whatever. Like, there needs to be a healthy boundary here. I don't respond to yelling as my, cue or as directing or whatever. Like, this needs to be a safe space for everyone. So do not stay in a gig that doesn't fulfill you and you don't feel right about. Talk about it, speak out about it, because this is very, very, very important for you and healthy for you. It's okay to get angry, and it's okay to get still frustrated when you're in your stage of passion. That is completely fine and normal. These are emotions. I still get angry and frustrated, and I'm in my passion stage right now for the acting. But I let it go. I have my moment where I'm like, damn, that is quite bullshit that I did not book that gig because I knew for a fact I was perfect for it, but whatever. You know what? Wasn't meant to be. We're going to let it go because something else is coming that's much more important, and this was just not for me, and that's fine. And I really allow it to just go through me, and I let it go. So it's okay to be angry and frustrated. You know that in your passion stage, you are okay to walk away, like you're okay to take a break, because you know that you're maybe about to hit burnout stage, and that you know that it's important for you to just take a moment for yourself, because you know that you're not going to be healthy if you keep going. This is important because you know what is right for you. You know what your limit is. Nobody else can tell you what it is. And when you feel that you're kind of coming to an end to that limit, yeah, you got to stop. You got to take a moment and say, I'm out. I can't do that. And that's okay. That's completely fine. When I started being in my passion stage, I started to realize how many other interests I have in this industry as well. Like, I'm obsessed with hosting, and I love, because I have my YouTube channel, I love talking, I love hosting people. So I'm really trying to get into the radio side of things, like voiceovers, commercials, and also like hosting on radios. I really, really want to be a part of that. Does that mean I'm fully walking away from the acting? Hell no, I'm still going to do it. I still have my agent. She knows that I'm still here and I'm available for auditions, but I'm full right to go and figure out some other things. When I started doing my production, I realized, yeah, the production is actually something really fun. Now, do I want to do the production as like a full-time thing forever and ever? I don't know, maybe. The other interest will come naturally too when you're in your stage of passion, because you're open to seeing other things, because you don't live and breathe acting. You know that the acting is something you want to do, but you are allowing it to happen on its own pace. When you're in your state of passion, honeys, you really do attract the right people. I know this, like, for some of you might sound corny, like laws of attraction and all that kind of stuff, but I'm highly, highly, highly big believer of it. And I'm saying this because of my own experience. When I was in my stage of obsession, I attracted all the wrong agents, all the wrong auditions. Actually, quite frankly, I didn't attract auditions at all. I went almost 7 months without an audition. And then when I did finally get an audition, it was like some shitty audition that I'm like, I don't even know why I showed up for this. Like, this was stupid. So for me, I do believe that when you are not in your state of healing, when you are still in your state of resistance and angry and obsession, those things that you don't want to have, you're going to get them, because you're not healing from what you need to heal. You're not understanding that you're attracting those kinds of things. Most importantly, I do find that when you're in your passion stage, you know your worth. You know what you're worthy of. You know how good enough you are. You know what you're capable of. You know what you have to work on, which is important. I still have things I have to work on in this industry. I know that there's just a lot of growing for me as well. I know there's a lot of mistakes that I could still work on. There's techniques that I know I can brush up on. Like, you know, there's things that I know for a fact that I still need to work on, but I still know that despite me having things that I have to work on, I know that there are many things that I'm very good at, and I know what I can bring to the table, and I'm not afraid to show it in a healthy way. Okay, honeys. 3:21. You know what that means? I gotta go to work. Ugh, I have to work at 4 o'clock. I'm actually already gonna be late, but that's okay because I got to film my YouTube video for you, honeys, and that's the most important part. I do also want to remind you, honeys, that I am going to be launching my website soon, and I'm gonna be talking about all this kind of stuff. But come and chat with me if you have any questions. I do my consultation sessions. I'm also available if you have audition prep, if you need me helping coaching you for a self-tape or an audition, if you're prepping for some sort of like for universities, like theater schools and that kind of stuff. Like I went through it myself, so I know what you need to bring to the table. So you can also book me for that kind of stuff as well. My website is going to be live very soon. I'm hoping it's going to be live by the end of this year, starting in January, fingers crossed. And I'm going to do a little bit of video about all that kind of stuff, and I'm super excited. I love you, honeys. Take care of yourselves. It is okay, whatever stage you are in. It is part of the process. It's just important to know about all these things. I love you, and I'm going to see you all next Friday. Bye, honeys.